Hello, everyone. I'm Sharon Goslako, your host at Divine Numbers and Theories, a place where thinking outside the box is the new common sense. And I'm super excited to introduce my next guest. You're going to love her. She's just got great stories on this great awakening and her experiences and so forth. Um, but I just wanted to mention that you know, give this channel a like and subscribe because I'm a firm believer that part of this great awakening is hearing other people's awakening stories. So you don't feel alone, whether it's spiritually, politically, or something's happened to you and so forth. It's happening. I'm excited. And so hit that like and subscribe and check out my other videos because I have some other great guests. And with no further ado, I would love to introduce you to my special friend, Katharine Wiseman, who we have in a picture because we're having technical difficulties, but you're going to love her story. Hi, Katharine. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today?
Hello. Great. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I'm excited to have you because, oh my gosh, when people start hearing these stories of what's been happening at the Q rallies and the Q movement and the haters and all that, what I want to encourage people is I want to encourage you to think outside the box that everything has been aligning. And even if you didn't understand it, to keep an open mind because people like us are going to be able to help connect those dots for you in the times that we're at today. So thank you, Katharine. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Katharine and I met through many of people that went to the Trump rallies in Gideons Army and so forth. And I just love how a lot of us just connected the way we were supposed to connect. And I also love that it's like we feel like we just don't have to explain ourselves and we already are family without any drama and the hate that we see happening everywhere. Would you feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.
100%.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, Katharine, my question to you is, I mean, I know we could talk on and on, but we're going to keep it to an hour. We do that offline. But my question to you is, are you a believer in signs and synchronicities? And if so, why?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely, I am. Now, I've never thought quite on that subject matter or that statement, if you will, but I do think that, especially right now, they're still going on. Trump is telling you things out in the open, and then lo and behold, well, heck, they've already happened.
Hmm.
ESC. And I believe that, like the very first time when I met with Negative 48 and he formed that whole the arc and all of this, and something just told me, I've got to go. I've got to go. I need to get down there. I told my husband, I'm going. I'll be gone 3 days. Bye. Gone. And all of that now makes more sense than maybe it even did then, if you will.
I
I
love
mean,
that you said that because so many others are saying the same thing.
mhm,
And a lot of them are also, I don't want to take away, but that's
mhm.
exactly what they're saying. And then they're also saying that it's like he can read your mind at an exact time. And it's just like that flip of a
Oh,
switch where so we'll have to get into that.
I got one for you. I got a great Juan O'Savin story. I'm sure he would,
Oh,
but
can't
this
wait.
was, so let's just say that I was at an event
Mm-hmm.
and it was supposed to be Christians. And I heard that someone, you're going to love this, said something about how who dresses like I do with sparkles on. As you can see in the picture, I love sparkles.
Yes, I
Now,
do.
now I didn't go whining her because I'm like, that's just stupid. I'm going to keep wearing them. Shut up. So I'm at an event at Kiki Curry's gallery. You probably heard of her by now. They'll do a lot of things there. We were getting our MAGA jackets. And he comes
Uh-huh.
up to me, and men don't talk like this. And I had on this all sparkle white. He goes, hey, I like your sparkles. And I'm like, oh, you know what's going on. You
Ah,
heard just silly
wait,
stuff
and this
like,
was Juan? This was Juan?
yeah, one
Okay.
just
Oh,
comes up and he
second
goes,
casting.
I like your sparkles. And I'm like, really, you do?
Did you do gematria on that? Did you code that? I like your sparkles.
I didn't. I have done gematria and I need to get better at it even, but I'm noticing something. I've decided to read the Bible from the front page all the way to the back. And
Mhm.
I'm already seeing how he's showing you what 5 is, what 7 is, what 3 is, and that you can even in reading in Genesis and Exodus, I saw 5, 7, 3.
Mhm.
He would point out numbers, and I
Yep.
thought, oh, I need to do some gematria on this. This is all meaning something. If
Mhm.
seeking you shall find. If you're really, I didn't get in there to specifically do gematria, just
Yep.
to make sure that I've gone all over through the Bible back and forth and in between all these many years, but I never focused on the numbers. And
I
they mean
never knew
something.
anything about it either until and God and it's beautiful, if I may say so. God
Yes,
speaks to us in numbers. Numbers break down the letters. Letters create the sentences, and people are cross-referencing their biblical parables, and it's all aligning like a movie script. Would you agree?
I would, because what he would do is he would say something several times. Sometimes he'd say it 7 times, sometimes 5, sometimes 3. It all meant something. And
Mhm.
people need to learn what those are. Let's see, 5 is grace, 7 is perfection, and 3, it kind of is a mouthful, divine completeness, perfection, and wholeness. And
Oh,
these are things that he was saying regarding Moses and Aaron and when they let my people go out of Egypt. He would say
mhm.
things, so this is a whole new good thing that I started doing that now, that I know more than I used to know. Because
Yeah.
remember, Sunday school and all didn't teach us near what we should have been taught.
I know,
Sorry.
I know. Now we're all
Sorry.
starting to feel like a bunch of numbskulls. We're just like, oh my gosh, we just believed all this stuff. And yeah, yeah. So
It's
let,
okay.
yeah, oh yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I feel that the Holy Spirit has awakened each and every one of us at our own divine time, even though if many people have had such a bad time in their entire lives, like it's coming to fruition now. They're starting to realize, like, oh my gosh, this is like my own personal movie, but I didn't realize it until now. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Absolutely. It's funny that you said that. It's very funny that you said that. Um, I'll go briefly on this one. Having
Yeah.
been adopted, they changed my name first, middle to last, and changed the birth certificate. So I took the birth certificate after they changed my name.
Mhm.
And sure enough, there's money attached to that. It's
Could
not
you
a
explain
lie.
it real quick to our future audience about what that means?
But
Because there's a lot of
absolutely.
people out there that like listening to this in the future, they're going to be like, what is she talking about? Like, and I like to give people grace because sometimes, my heart kind of goes out to people when they wanted to
Yeah.
stay closed-minded without being open-minded. And now they're finding that that didn't help them. So now they're more open to hearing. So
We
excuse me,
were,
I've got itchy news
oh,
from my
you're just great.
allergies. So.
We were sold on the stock exchange. Bonds is how they did it.
Hmm.
And it does tie into at least your month and year, the way I could ascertain it by looking on there. Of course, these were instructions from somebody.
Hmm.
So my original birth certificate is sealed in Buffalo, New York as Susan Margaret Freitas. And
Hmm.
then at 10, when I was adopted, my name was changed. They recreated their birth certificate, yet there were things they could not change. They could not change, how long you were, what time, where, but they
Hmm.
could change and make it look like you were born to those people. And then they changed it to Catherine Elizabeth Boyle. So I
That's
have
kind of
two.
creepy when you think about it,
Yeah,
that they could
but
just do
this,
that.
yeah, they did. And the thing is, for
You're
me
so
and
cute.
Miss Happy Go Lucky Susan and Catherine,
Cards.
a piece of paper was put down in front of me, and we all went to a restaurant. I even remember it was called Brownies. and slaps a piece of paper down my new parents. This is your new name. I just looked at him. Okay, lady, whatever you want. Hey, I got a home now. I got, I've got parents. I got a dog. I got my own room. It's all good. Whatever y'all want, But then I got to thinking when they did this, because they're saying not only that, but we were sold. And I'm like, oh, poo. Let me go. And sure
Can you
enough,
explain that a little bit more when you were talking about the bonds and where can they find that
oh
information in
gosh,
general terms?
you're gonna
Just
ask me
so
something
people can dip their toes in a little
I
bit.
don't remember now. I have to go look it up.
The
I wish I
CUSIP number and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure I'm using the correct number, but I did find the numbers that, lined up, and it did show me money, but it's not near what.
Oh.
And then I got to thinking, so, and I'm sorry, we may have to look that up and, to remember what I did. Let me think. I may have it, but so then I got to thinking, well, that's not near. And then I thought, oh, the mother load is up there in that sealed birth certificate. That's where they had some fun because who would be watching? And I'm like, oh, that's where the real money. Well, guess what? I know what I know where it is. I can unseal it. Let me see if I can figure out the site and kind of guide people.
Yeah, oh, no worries if you don't have to do it right now or anything. But my question to you is if
Mhm.
you're open to sharing this, if not, we can kind of
Mhm.
skip over it. So
No
you had
problem.
mentioned that you were adopted.
Mhm.
So are you willing to share a brief
Yep.
explanation on how that happened and
Oh yeah.
go for it? Uh-huh.
So
Because your
basically,
story is fascinating. I'm just saying, people are gonna love you.
so basically something happened and it was not good. A
Hmm.
lot of things were not good. Now,
Hmm.
I'm being a lady, I'll just say I was very abused as a child. Things that I should have
So
never
sorry.
seen. Okay, that's okay. I'm not here for, I'm a
Hmm.
very strong person and I'm
Yeah,
not,
you are.
but
You are.
however, here's what really happened. And everybody wants me to write a book. Three of us, my sister and my brother and I, were given stuffed animals. I think they took us to one of those burger joints or whatever, put us in the back of a taxi cab, didn't even pay the taxi, and sent us to what is Hope Cottage here, the orphanage.
Mm.
And I was in one, and then these people decided they wanted me,
Mhm.
and their daughter had died. I had an accident on the patio and got a concussion. They just left me in the hospital and never came back. She freaked out, I guess, and said that we don't want another hurt child. Well, see, the Lord's working this whole time.
Mhm.
People don't get it. He
Yeah.
already saw why. Okay, you have to ask her, then why do we have these people and send you back? And she was sewing for, all these things. They wanted me. I must have been kind of cute. But
Yeah, you are.
the other people were literally, I think, literally across a big road, almost in the same neighborhood, that actually came and got me and took me
Mm.
forever.
And you
They
had,
would
and
bring
your
me.
parents ended up being good parents to you?
Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean the mother load.
Oh.
And I
So
don't
it
really.
worked out, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, absolutely. But you see, I mean, it's like with anything. You can
Yeah.
say, well, I could do drugs and alcohol and do all these things. I'm not saying I've never done anything naughty or never,
Yeah,
gone to
we all
bars.
have.
Come on,
We're all
please.
sinners.
And maybe
Yeah.
had too many, then disco danced and all of those things. But what I'm saying here is that even as a child, you can be led if you have an open heart and an open mind, you can see good is being done for you and understand, hey, let's just
Yeah.
roll with it here, we got this. There was
Mm-hmm.
only one day I can remember standing at the mirror going, are you Susan or Catherine? I'm like, heck, I don't care who I am, I'm here and I'm
Yeah. I got some epic stuff to get done, right?
I mean, I have exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much how it went. And nobody else got adopted out of that whole family but me.
Wow.
And
You're very,
supposedly,
very, very special. I know that for sure. You're special to me. And I love what you just said too, Catherine, because I really feel like everyone is really opening their minds that this really has been a journey and it is the Great Awakening and the second coming and so forth. And they're starting to be able to look at it from a script almost of their life, going, oh, that was awful, that was awful, that, but I'm here
Hmm.
and you can feel it. It was supposed to toughen you up. It was supposed to do something to all of us on the inside. Would you not agree?
Yes, but the one thing I mostly would say to you is that people that are abused
Mm,
are really the most compassionate people in the world, and they
I
just
agree.
instinctively will give. I mean, I've lost a lot because of that, but then I realize that a lot's coming back to me. Not that I say,
Mhm.
okay, Lord, you owe me now, you know,
Yeah.
but hey, can we just kind of twist it and have some fun now, and take those gifts and, do some things,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I'm glad you said that too, because I'm finding that about the homeless situation out here in Utah. I'd say about 40% are homeless veterans and so forth. And me coming from the small town in New Hampshire, when I
Mhm.
came here, Catherine, it was a big, huge eye opener. I was just like, hello, is anyone else seeing this? How come, of course there's some humanitarian projects and so forth, but overall, if everyone has been paying so much into this system and your taxes and so forth, there should be none of that problem
Mhm.
anywhere. Would you agree?
Absolutely, I would agree with you
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
yeah,
Now, my husband and I have the propensity, and we do think a lot alike, that, hey, if you're hungry, we're going to go get you some food. We're not going to
yeah,
give you money so you can go booze it up. Now,
yeah.
I'm not, I'm not judging them, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not one to,
It's a better choice, I think, for the
yeah,
overall what you're trying to
yeah,
do.
or
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
put you in a hotel, or maybe I'm like, one time I had this store called Catherine's Corner. And before I ever realized that I was sitting on a store in my house taking care of my mother,
Hmm.
I had given away a ton of stuff. And I still had, guess what happens? I still had tons more that I never even listed yet. You see what I'm saying? And so, because I was
Hmm.
thinking of the ladies that divorced or were abused, and they would need something to dress to
Yeah,
go to their interviews, you see.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you can
Proud of
always,
you.
even
Yeah,
out of your backyard, your own backyard, you can help. I bought cars for people and all kinds of things, but I used to be rolling in money. But here's the thing about it. That's all it is. It's just money. What
yeah,
does the Lord say in his word? That if you have done this unto the least of me, you've done it to me. And
yeah.
it seems to come natural with people who have had things happen to them.
I
I feel.
agree. I agree. I feel like people definitely have more compassion for a situation because I think now, I don't think I know, many people are awakening and realizing, you know, why did I judge this person again? And everyone, they make you so scared to talk to someone that's homeless because they might try to jump you in. I haven't had that problem once. It's a program to put fear in people
Yeah.
instead of helping one another. I mean, being out here in Utah, I have respect for the members in the Mormon church and so forth. But my question to the Mormon church, and I think many are asking now, is so you're literally worth billions and billions, if not trillions, and you're in the hub of this huge homeless problem in Utah that's starting to expand into
Mhm.
neighborhoods now because they're pushing them out of the parks. And I think that's God's way of saying to people, I'm giving you signs to start taking care of one another because clearly it is not working and we all have to help each other. You know what I'm saying? Even when people think of the negative side, there's always a positive side. It's like, no, get off your ass and donate 5 hours a month and tell your friends.
Yeah.
And if we all could do that, we'd solve all the problems in our communities. Seriously.
Mhm.
It's
I mean,
never
it
been done.
started on the road. Oh, I beg your pardon. Go ahead.
Oh, no, no, you're fine. I'm just saying, like, could you imagine if every single person in this world donated 5 hours a month to help people and animals suffering? Like, we literally have the power
Hmm.
to do it on our own. We've never really needed some big, huge government and selectmen and all that because what we're realizing is not a lot of them are doing what we, the people, want. They're doing what they want.
Of
And now
course.
it's flipping. So I'm excited. So I
Of course,
digress.
I mean, and here's the thing that I teach people. I'm teaching my grandson. He's new to it, but he's so wise in his years. but
Oh,
it's simply that you don't have to go seek out really. The Lord will put in front of you whom you need to take care of
I
when you
agree.
need to take. It just happens. I mean, one time I was approached at a gas station and I was rolling it. I was in litigation for patent law, baby. I had the money,
Oh,
and so I need, as I said, you need groceries, so let's go to the grocery store. I believe that was, I don't know when, the early 2000s, and I know I bought 200 back then, got her a lot of food and gave it to her.
oh,
So see,
so proud of you.
that's doing the right thing now, right? I was
Yeah.
awfully busy too, as you said, maybe going to, because I was also taking care of my mother. But when it's the time for you to do something, all you have to be is willing and say
Yeah.
yes. And
And stop turning the other way, thinking someone
yeah,
else is going to start taking care of
just
it because
no,
it doesn't work. We know that now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I'm not currently doing that. But for number one, my vehicle was stolen, and we're in. I don't have the
Ah,
money I
so
used to
sad.
go buy one. But I'm not worried because, honey, like I told Juan that same night, I said he was talking about all these race cars and how he got started. I said, "But do you want to ride in my Bugatti, boy?" He just laughed because I'd love to have. I'd love to
Okay.
have me.
With
But
that being said, I would love to jump to how you met a lot of these people at the Trump
okay.
rallies and so forth. So could you take me back to that spot in time
Mhm.
where you started meeting these people and getting connected with these people? And who do you think in central casting some of these people may be? Because that's gonna blow people's minds. So the
Now,
floor is yours, girlfriend.
so it all really kind of started with Prime. He was sitting there stuffing his face with popcorn and doing stuff, and I'm laughing myself silly. And
Hmm.
somehow it got around to Jerry Foley. Well, Jerry was doing, this preaching and reading the Bible and praying and all of this, and it
Hmm.
wasn't Gideon's Army yet. And
Hmm.
so Prime and Jerry would come up. Well, just a bunch of us found them, and there's this whole community, right?
So
One
he's a podcaster as well, or just
Prime
writing?
Minister, or yeah.
Uh, okay, I just wanted for a future audience so people know who these people are. Okay, okay.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
everybody knew Prime Minister.
Ah, they're going
he
to.
he was down at with Juan too. He was here when all of that started. Him and a bunch of people. I don't know who I'm supposed to tell or not tell who. But anyways, uh, so then Juan somehow got involved, and he
Hmm.
decided we were Gideon's Army. So there that was.
Oh, I
So
love
now
that.
Juan decides to tell Jerry we should all go to Plano to see Curry Blake, the minister.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's how I met him. I met Brett Bowl, Billy.
I love Brett. I interviewed with
Yeah,
him back in the day. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a good
He's
guy.
great. And Billy Falcon was there singing and doing his songs and that sort of thing. And I think that Jennifer Mack was there, and that sort of thing.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the first. And then the urgency came when I heard, and I guess through the community, that Negative, they were going to be down here on Elm Street and AT&T Plaza and all.
Hmm.
Had to go, got the hotel room, didn't care, and wow, that first night out. Somebody was saying something about the Kennedys, so and so, and look across, and some people parted, and you could just tell that was a Kennedy. So no telling who all was really there, who we
Hmm.
surmise is. I think
Now,
I know who Prime is.
okay, so for the audience,
Mhm.
because I think down the road when they listen to this, they're not going to know a lot of these names, but I'm
Okay.
thankful that you mentioned people. But my question to you, so, and I know that a lot of people were encouraging you to be open to being open because God is working a big, big, big movie
Yes, he
behind the
is.
scenes. So when you say, I think I know who they are, a loose term that President Trump will use, and I encourage people, they're starting to realize it more and more because when they
Mm-hmm.
keep putting it and hearing it, it's a program, whether it's good or bad. And he's basically telling you that central casting is a
Mm-hmm.
company that paid actors are
Yeah.
have to sign NDAs and so forth for things in fake news and entertainment and so forth. So,
Yes.
and then there's also, to add to it, a lot of them wear masks, just like the
Yep.
movie with Tom Cruise and all that. And that's why Trump mentions that. Now, to the average person that's catching this, they're going to be like, those two ladies, they're cray cray. But what
Okay.
we're showing, and that's okay, exactly,
Mhm.
because I feel so honored that people like you and I really can grasp our mind around it. It's really the biggest psychological warfare game. And if you have been listening between the
Mhm.
lines and connecting dots and so forth, what really central casting is there are a lot of people in masks. And that's how I want to bring it for the audience with what Katharine's saying, because she's like, I think I know who these people might be and so forth. And like, there's so many rumors. But what makes a great movie within a movie? The rumors and the drama and the horror and the like, that's why they created entertainment. There's a category for everything, right? That's what I say.
I'm going to agree there. I think some are in masks. I think some are not because nobody knew them in the first place. They're like the sons or and or daughters of big name actors
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
actresses. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew that world because my cousins lived in the Pacific Palisades that burned. They lived, a Beach Boy lived across, Lurch's daughter, I played with her as a child. And we met,
Oh
oh
my
yeah, my
God.
world is crazy.
You
It's
got a little
crazy.
Hollywood and some singing and all that. And your voice is amazing, by the way.
Oh,
Just
thank you. Thank you.
it's powerful and loving too. I love that.
But uh
So yeah, let's bring it back to like when you were out and about and you first met Negative 48. Now, who is Negative 48 for our viewers? How would you explain that to people?
well, he's definitely the gematria man. His whole
Numerology
goal
people.
was to teach us. And even though I've done this gematria, I'm like, but why are we going to all be speaking in numbers? What's going on here? And then I realized because it's a bigger picture to even the Bible in and of itself. And
Yep,
so it's this thing where you get in a group and learn, but you must do your individual due diligence as
I
well,
agree. Yep.
along the way. I actually did my names too. I did all of that. Susan Margaret Freitas, Catherine Elizabeth Boyle, and then the married Wiseman, all of that
What's your
stuff.
number come out to?
Oh, let's see. Hold on. I got that. It's giving me, I didn't know we were going to say this, but hold on.
Sharon Kaslika comes to 151.
It
Jesus
does.
Christ and I have something in common because that's his number.
You really? That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Hold on, and I'll tell you exactly because this is the weird thing. Let me find it. I do have a lot of notes because
Oh,
some
it's three.
people,
Mhm.
huh?
Oh no, I was just looking at my phone with you. I was gonna do something. It was 3-3. It's 3-3-3.
333.
Mhm. But I digress.
No, it's quite all right. Hold on, let me just find. Here it is. Okay, here's what I found intriguing when I did it. My original name was 235. When I
Mm-hmm.
went to Catherine Elizabeth Boyle, it went to 234. Look how this is stepping down. Then when I
Mm-hmm.
got adopted, Catherine Boyle Wiseman was 230.
Mm-hmm.
It went down.
Mm.
And then so same thing with my mother. I took her original name, Wanda Ruth Miles, 168. Wanda Miles Boyle, after she got married, 160. Isn't that intriguing how that works?
Yeah, that didn't I love the way your brain thinks because I think the same way too sometimes. Like when I put something in, my old phone number back in Merrimack, New Hampshire was 424 and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, 424." And like it just kind of happens like that. You're like, "How could that be connected?" And finally I don't you feel like once you accept it that God works in mysterious ways, which has been drilled into all of our heads and programmed, right?
Right.
That's when everything starts expanding. You're like, ah, right? I love it. It's super cool.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is starting now, and here we go. Negatives, everybody's gone, and but they're gonna come back. Well, let me go there. Juan, let's go
Well, wait
back
a
to
minute. So
Juan.
who is negative to you though?
Oh, I'm
For
sorry.
the audience. I know we're like two girlfriends, like I
Negative
love it.
48 came on the scene.
Do you remember what year was it? What year did it start with him?
Oh, you're gonna
Gosh,
ask
the
me that.
years.
Was
No,
it
it's okay. It's okay because it's
20
all a blur for
after
everyone.
after 2020, 2021,
So right around 2021 is when he
something?
kind of was hitting the scene.
I'd have to go back and
Yeah.
look at my tickets
I
to the
know
concert.
it's all
But
a blur.
oh, he came on. Did I know him first? I can't remember if I knew him on Telegram first or not.
Okay.
But
Don't, it's okay. It's okay.
he came, and a lot of other, I know Prime came, and all the people that would be on the channel,
Yep.
on the Telegram channel, a lot of people were there. So yes, I knew him from Telegram first. That's what it was. And
Okay.
then
Okay.
they came, and I knew something big was going on. Because if you're
Mhm.
in tune, because you get excited, you're like, I gotta go. I don't know why. I gotta go there. So I
That's how
did
I
it.
feel like about the George event in August. I'm like, I gotta
Yes.
go. I already got my ticket. I don't.
Well,
Yep.
so he was here. We did a parade, and held up Trump signs, and we think that there was a lot of people in the cars that are going to be revealed to us later, and there were comms all over everything.
Central casting. Mhm.
They were, I mean, there was numbers on the fire trucks, just silly things that shouldn't be there if you
That
were
kind of seemed out
watching.
of misplaced, but when you look at it like in a movie and like you see things in the corner, how things are strategically placed, kind of a thing. Is that what you're saying?
And yeah, and Mickey Olsen was there in her little red car and her outfit.
I
She was
love Mickey.
adorable.
I interviewed her. She's on my channel here.
Yeah,
She's just
she's a
amazing. I
hot
mean,
mess. She's very cute.
she,
But
I love.
so there was a lot of people there, and it's speculative as to whom that, of course, Negative knows who Negative is, but do I think he's in a suit? Yeah, absolutely. I think he's in disguise. Certainly Juan is.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they all are.
Now, were they both with you at the same time, or was this like, did you see Negative and Juan at the same time at some of these places, or
Yes,
were they always separate?
no, they're together. So
Okay,
you're
I just wanted
but
to check because you know what I'm trying to get to.
the triplets, talking about the triplets.
There's gonna
So
be a lot of
anyways,
people.
okay. So yes, but they never talk to each other
Mm-hmm.
the whole time in the
Mm-hmm.
same room. Odd.
Hmm.
Yeah, but at, at Chris's baby Trump, Chris Eric's events, they have both been in the same exact room.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not one and the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But maybe.
So let me ask you this. So
Mhm.
now knowing what you know now from back then to now, do you feel like they were playing a central casting part and that's why they had stuff they needed to say in their minds and so forth, almost like, mastering a script? When people are in Hollywood, they got to memorize their lines and so forth. Do you feel like that's kind of what was happening, but you didn't know it back then? Does
I
that make
really
sense?
don't. I think that these people have been put in what has been termed as gone with the wind. In other words, if I didn't disappear, I might be, they're after me, they're gunning for me, they're going to kill me for whatever reason. Okay.
Like politicians and Hollywood people and so forth that supposedly just, passed away and a lot of, yeah. And I just want to,
Yeah.
for the audience in the
Yeah.
future, just please, we just ask you to keep them open mind.
Right.
Don't be like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. Like John Denver and like all these people that died. Just listen to Katharine. Okay. Okay. Just
Actually, I had a friend that, I mean, my cousin, that same one from the Pacific Palisades that worked with John Denver in Colorado. And I'd love to talk to
really?
her, but she is not going to listen to any of this. So it's not going to happen. Yeah.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
him
Because
personally.
he's my fave. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's my
So
fave.
here we go. Where we're Negative, we're all there. They're here for a very long time. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't go with them and do all of that they did, but I was in on the biggest part. There was a concert
Mm-hmm.
called the Rolling Stones, which we know it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
the Rolling Stones. And
Mm-hmm.
we pretty much know. Can I say anything past that or not? Because
Do it. Drop
So,
them.
so,
Drop
so
it.
my, I mean, this is, I mean, golly, it was raining cats and dogs. We couldn't get
Mm-hmm.
in. Then we had to change our purses. We hadn't been to concerts in so long. I went to all Christian concerts. I know the Christian people. And,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you had to have your purse had to be transparent. All these
Checked and
crazy.
all that. Yeah.
We had spent 300 and some odd dollars for these tickets, which that makes sense now, in the bleachers even. And
Uh-huh.
so I asked Negative when we were on one of the talks on Telegram. And I'm sitting here going, if I pay for these evil people, I'm going to be, everybody's normal, right? I'm going to be so
Yeah.
upset,
Yeah.
right? That's because they were
Mm-hmm.
so good at what they did. And then I said, but I'm a singer. If that wasn't Aaliyah on stage singing, if that wasn't Michael Jackson doing It's Just a Shot Away, then somebody, something. He goes, you're absolutely 100% correct. I said, ding, 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 ding. I'm the winner.
So basically, he was telling you that
Yeah.
certain people, in his own way, he was saying someone's wearing a mask. Is that what you're saying?
I guess that's what and I need to be real careful because he didn't want, but let's just say at that particular moment, that's exactly who was, and because I'm a singer and I'm like, God, and then I go, wait, I know that voice. And
Oh,
so, it's like, but it was never revealed. We if people thought it would be after the concert, that wasn't their intent, but we
mm-hmm.
were a super huge part of history that will be exposed, and
That's
who.
why I'm having you here, because a
Yeah,
lot of us are awakened where we realize that you were part of one big movie that's going to be disclosed to the entire world just by being there when they were on the road doing
yeah,
this.
and
And
not only that. Oh,
uh-huh.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was going to say one thing that I find fascinating is when people think outside the box is encouraging them to listen to the Jesus Strand 1 and 2. I always like to say a lot of General Flynn and other people were in on that's the truth about Jesus and the bloodline and so forth. But what I think is fascinating, once they understand all that, and that there are literally beings walking around from the Christ bloodline. I mean, I'd like to think that we're all Christ. I know that, but you get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, like the RH negative and so forth. What I think is so beautiful is that they've been in central casting roles for so long and traveling around the world that they're including everyone and they don't even realize it yet. And when the big surprise happens, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, ah. And
Well,
that's going to be, they were chosen to be there at that time. And what the most amazing gift. Does that make sense? Just like your experience.
actually, it does because I firmly believe that we will in our now to me we are going to have glorified bodies, and so in as such we
Oh, I
are
can't
going to
wait.
meet David, we're going to meet Moses, we're going to meet Abraham. I mean, how cool is that?
Oh, I know. I'm super excited.
And David, you're like, what? So I
I
mean,
can't wait.
if you can believe that, then none of this is far fetched. What God does is what God does, and He can do
The art of
anything He
war.
wants
It's
to
the
do.
art
See,
of
my
war.
God's not in a tiny box. Mine's always been like, hey, dude. I mean, I would hate for that robber to come up to me with that gun because no telling what might happen. It has happened, but
Yeah.
I was not
Oh,
scared. Oh, I had it. Yeah, they came up on me and put the, give me your purse. I was this little snotty teenager, and I'm like, I'd like to take this purse and whoop you up one side of the street and down the other is what I'd like to do. That was back when we
I
still had
love it.
checks,
Well,
so I'm like, no, 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 no. I went and changed the checks out, and I'm like, now go try and get that money, boy.
oh, I love you. Old school's coming back. No more people doing things like that and treating each other poorly and just
Yeah,
yeah,
come on.
we gotta just do the right thing because everyone is suffering one way or another, whether it's mentally, physically,
Mhm,
you know what I mean? That yeah.
I do. And I think the other thing that people forget, they get so much,
Mhm.
and for some oddball reason they think that they're better. No, you're just blessed. And but you chose, but maybe the reason you got it is because you did naughty. So, that will be
Mm.
taken away because this is how it works. In the Bible, it worked that way. Oh,
Mhm.
you want to be naughty? There went all your cattle. Whoops, I mean, well, so and so, even the Lord, and I said this, and even Curry Blake heard me. Kumbaya time is over. We're not. It's playtime is over. So
Yep.
if you're going to be naughty, you're going to get caught, which is what this whole thing,
It's a
and if
test.
you're
It was
if
our
you're gonna
test.
yeah, if you're going to be abusive to your fellow man, I'm no better. And maybe some are prettier, some are smarter, some are better figure, whatever the case may be. Nobody is better than anybody. Stop it.
I agree
Please
500
stop
good.
it.
It was just another label and program that they
Mm-hmm.
planted in your brain through your
Mm-hmm.
entertainment, through your commercials. I mean, I love to use this example, Catherine, and think about this. Entertainment was created because for duality too, to keep us occupied, to not realize that we were just doing the hamster wheel every day. Like,
Ah,
so they gave us something to like watch at
mm-hmm.
least. But now I'm starting to find so many people are like, oh my gosh, this they predicted this in this movie. Oh, they predicted this in The Simpsons. They
Yes, they
predicted this. Da, da,
did.
da. And what I think is so beautiful is that is the art of war. But my point is I love to encourage people to think about kids and teenagers now. I
Oh,
truly
please.
think that we were all built to be loving and kind, but do you see how in entertainment, how they show kids how to be a bully? And usually the bullies are the ones that have something inside. Do you get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it's a full cycle program. And people
Mm-hmm.
don't even realize. I mean, I always love to use the example of the Karens. They're like, that's a
Ah,
program because you're so miserable. You have to find
I mean,
something that, you know what
because
I mean?
why?
Yeah.
Just why? And I mean, yeah, they've shown med beds.
They
I
show
told
us our
my,
personalities too. Like,
yeah.
think about that. Like, this is one big psychological warfare game where
Mm-hmm.
we are all acting and picking things that resonate as a character within movies and TV shows. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like when the Rachel haircut came out, everyone ended up getting the Rachel haircut. And one thing that I decoded that I recognize, and I love where people think outside the box of whether you're spiritual or awakening and in
Mm-hmm.
this truth or movement. But in the 80s, they created that term like, and it just goes to show how programmed we all are. And what I mean is, I grew up in the 80s, so I sometimes catch myself always saying, like, oh my gosh, and like it was like this. But I feel like they came up with that term like because behind, I know this is deep stuff for some people to be like, oh my gosh, you do not want to be in this brain. But what I'm saying is they created the term like because they're not saying it is, but it's like it. And whatever the
Mm.
term like means to you. Does that make sense? Like they're connecting
Oh,
it like to something. So
yeah.
there's one app that I found. It's called Yarn something movie clips. And I love to encourage people to use that as another tool on finding things where that they could decode in gematria or listen between the lines. And they'll tell you exactly what certain things are like or represent. Like it's like whiskey or it's like this. Like in the movies, they're telling you something else that's happening behind the scenes. Does that make sense? It's like layers upon layers. It's gonna be
Yeah.
like the movies that we've seen, they're all gonna be connected to other movies or storylines, and people are gonna end up getting the gift of connecting the dots. Like, and I'm just using this as an example thinking outside the box is like when you think of JD, when I think of JD, I think of John Denver, like, and then, you know what I mean? Like you're connecting dots to things. Does that
Uh-huh.
make
Yeah.
sense? And the beautiful thing is it's allowing people to use their own minds to connect the dot to something that was created through entertainment for them to connect to part of the big picture. Does that make sense?
It does, but I'm their hard case because they're, this fluoride is supposed to do this and this and that. And I'm like, well, they must have missed it when they tried to put it in me because I'm a fireball. I don't care who you think you are.
That's so
Well,
true.
you gonna have to work real hard to find something. I will say that I will tell.
What?
Okay, so let's go back. when my parents didn't know that I had been abused. And
Mm.
when they found out, they decided to take me. Of course, I've got to go be analyzed. Kids are so smart. Here's this thing, and he's in this, I'll never forget that outfit, bolo
What?
tie, whatever thing. And he had convinced mom and dad that he should, what do they call that? Oh God, they put you to, golly, I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, hypnosis?
Hypnotize me
Hypnotize. Oh, good
so he
luck. Did
can
it work
find
for
things.
you?
Oh, honey, he didn't get that far. I was a fireball. There would I was in the room alone with him, and I instinctively thought, "You are a." I didn't say I was thinking child abuser. I didn't know the term pedophile yet. I got up on
Something
the
was wrong
couch.
with the guy.
I exactly. I ran out of that room, and I didn't ask. I said, "Never bring me to this man again." I guarantee you, he
Oh,
was a pedophile. And but see, innately, I think we're given once we know, we're like, okay, it's not like okay, that man is that, I was running around thinking, but when I
yeah.
knew, I knew.
Scary though, too, when you think about it, being a
I
little kid
knew.
and we're starting to find they're everywhere. They're in your
Yeah,
school systems. They're in your Boy Scouts. They're your teachers. They're I mean, they're your neighbors.
they're in the church,
It
not just the Catholic Church
all of
either.
them, all of
All of
them.
them. Come
Yep.
on now. There's been movies on this, guys, but
That's why they made the movies about it, so that
mm,
it would be easier for them to understand as this truth is unfolding.
mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm so
But
sorry.
so,
I'm so proud of you
oh,
knowing
please,
that though
no,
at such a young
no.
age.
You instinctive when you have you ever seen these videos of these children? I know I did, that they were British or whatever, and they were sick because children that tell you, even as a child, if they tell you something, they're so exacting and so kind of mechanic about it. They're not like,
Mhm.
oh, and this, they're like, and this happened, and this happened, and that happened, and that happened, and this little girl was telling about they put the knife in her hand, and I'm like, wow, you sound just like me as as a child too. But and normally they don't go around telling the whole world either. But if they're asked,
Yeah.
then kids are so honest, they'll
Yeah.
start telling. They're very mechanic in it, and that may be a defense mechanism. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
Until they start getting into the indoctrinated system of school where they just
mhm,
start numbing them down. Sit down, obey, learn what we're telling you. And they just, yeah, that's when I feel like also the kids, they start losing those abilities that they have, that intuitive instinct, like you were talking about. Do you
mhm.
find the same thing?
Well, I don't know because I came from a different. I mean, I'm from the era where we had Bible in school. We did Bible study in high school. We didn't, we sang song, Christian. I mean, so I mean, I don't know because, but I will tell you this, that even after being adopted, it must have been a big thing because I knew of other people who were being abused even after the fact. And it usually runs in a family, is what it does.
Oh,
But the
I'm
sacred
so sorry.
tent, I was
Hmm.
on the sacred tent and talking about this, that it was odd for me that before being adopted, we were passed around. She'd come and get us, the mother, long enough to get the check, I guess, that was being given her. I don't know. And I'm going to tell you the beauty and this. She's the beast, and I'll tell you the beauty. But so something would always happen to me, and they
Hmm.
said, "Did you may not know it, but they may have been grooming you, because had I not been adopted, I meant abuse, that and we're talking about sexually abuse now. Come on, I'm trying to be a lady, but
I know. I love
come
that
on,
about
but I mean,
you. But
but
this is great for people to listen to because they'll understand that there's so many people that have gone through things like you
mhm,
that you can't deny it anymore. So
yeah. And here's the thing about it, and here's what really got them, was that had I not been adopted, now this is odd, they're going to send me all the way from Texas back up to God knows where in Buffalo, New York. I was
Mhm.
probably getting ready to be trafficked. And the Lord was like, oh, no, the heck she's not, and
Yeah.
and thus came the two couples to, you know, try to adopt me, or did anyway,
So
but
grateful because now you're my friend. And
yeah, I know how
we're
well
on this
this
journey
works.
forever now, all of us. I love
But I
that.
was old enough that, so that was 7 when I was sent away and not adopted till 10. I was in the system, I guess you could say 3 years. But here's the pretty part. My real father was shell shocked in the Korean War. He had, I think, 3 Purple Hearts, just a good man, went from the Army to the Navy. So he continued to serve. And the only reason he couldn't get us, he was shell shocked in the Korean War. And they
Hmm.
said, you're not mentally okay to take him when he found out what she was doing,
Mm.
sending us away. He still
Oh,
sent money to my parents the whole time I didn't know it. The
wow.
Because my adopted aunt said, "Oh, your real daddy's paying for your braces." Sure enough, I found out this was true. In the end,
Wow.
that's what a good man he was. Such a good-hearted man.
Oh,
Such a good. I had a lot of
I'm
his spirit.
I'm
So,
so sorry so much of it. Like you can't look how amazing you are. You're so strong and you're so grounded and you just know your worth and you know that you're here to help other people. And I love that about you. Oh,
yeah,
your
yeah,
poor dad. I can't even
yeah.
imagine here he had that kind of stress just from being in the war. Now he's, with you and
But
I'm so
and even
sorry.
so, he kept giving because at his death, they had to look me up again, even though I had met back up with everybody. I had a sister, a brother, and me. We were all three. And then I had twin half brothers. I had another half brother and a half sister up in New York somewhere. So there was a bunch
Mhm.
of us. But sometimes I love to say, but I'm an only child. you know. and
Mm,
but all of that being said and done, uh yeah, I've never been just a mean person that would sit around and
yeah.
just let me see who can I mess with. No,
I know. Thank
no.
you for saying that because I feel the same way. And I feel like so many others
Mhm.
feel the same way, where the people like us that don't want to cause conflict and let things be between you and someone else that you're having an argument with and not pull everyone else in like the Karens and you know what I mean? Um, but it's
Karen's.
actually so backwards where we were the ones that had the class and they were the ones that like to when they find out very soon that they got programmed because the program programs you um like if something bad happened to them or they took something very personal, they take it to another level and they show kids how to do these things and so forth
Oh,
in the
we
entertainment, so that's where they're learning it from.
we didn't have bullies in school.
Well,
I think
you
the only
didn't. I think that,
no.
I think in general terms, you know what I mean? Especially nowadays, there seems to be a
Oh,
lot
it's
of bullies.
but my grandson. Now this is supposed to be a good high school. This
Mm-hmm.
is not one of the noted naughty ones. And
Mm-hmm.
he said that kids, now he's 6'3", and so he's
Giant.
stout for 60, so I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to mess with him. But if and we've taught him, hey, if they hit you, go right ahead, because hey, we're gonna stop this somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna sing kumbaya up in here. Well, the kids are evidently, when they go to the bathroom, I'm like, can't even go to the bathroom now, or jumping kids. So he got
Really?
smart and he told his mother, I try to go after we get in class, because then their honeys are in class, or should be, because he doesn't.
Oh,
But
but
I mean,
that's that kind of mentality these kids have to think about the thinking of that stuff when they're supposed to be in a safe environment, in a loving environment. Like the only thing that I find loving about school, and I'm just going to be honest, is just the rapport that you're building with the other team, the other students,
yeah,
and so forth.
yeah.
You're supposed to be growing and so forth. And I can't wait to see how the new system, the school system is going to be structured because
I mean, please, somebody do
it's,
something. Can't
yeah,
even go to the bathroom. I'm done. I'll go to the bathroom. I will go to the bathroom and we can all have a good time. We'll create a lifetime movie channel right up in that bathroom that day. I'm like, you want to host so? Oh, that's how we're gonna do. I just wanted to come to the potty.
I love it. But I love what you said that these kids are thinking of all these things out that are happening to them on a social level but they can't even disattach from it being in school. So it's this endless cycle. And I remember asking kids, gosh, this was probably like 7 years
Mhm.
ago. And I said, do you find there's more bullying in school or online? And almost every single one of them said online.
Online. Yeah.
It's,
But you know
and
what?
yeah.
But watch this. You don't know what you're doing when you do it, but if you walk along and you're doing the right things, he's learned a lot from me, and he'll sit there and tell me, Nana, I learned
Oh,
a lot from you. And I just don't know
oh,
what's wrong with these people. And he loves the Lord and he loves the Bible. And this kid just thinks like he's an old man in a young man's suit, but the way he reasons
oh,
things, and
that's
when he talks to
awesome.
you about, well, my girlfriend broke up with me, and she wanted to go with somebody and he's doing drugs and selling drugs. I'm like, well, that's her problem now.
That
She
was
just
her
lost.
loss for
But
sure.
he certainly didn't have, a cry fit over it either, because he recognized, which most kids might not, that, hey, that's a good
Yeah.
thing. Let her go. Bye bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Toodaloo.
That's interesting. I find it very interesting.
Oh, well, it sounds like you did a great job with your family. Well, listen, we're creeping up on the 1 hour mark. I wanted to ask you, um, if you have any words of advice for people that are slowly awakening in this world and realizing there's a lot more happening behind the scenes, what would be your advice?
Critically think. Stop letting people tell you how to think and breathe and eat and sleep. Stop it. Become you. Step out and understand that this world is so big that none of us knows everything.
That's
None
for
of us
sure.
knows everything. And there's always something to learn. Some
I
things,
agree.
red flag, but I'm like, hey, I'm like this. What if they're right? Let me just, I'll ease into this, and let's explore this, and let's see what's going on here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
And don't automatically shut down someone else's opinions unless
no
you've really done a lot of extensive research. But
research.
there's
Mm,
no reason. Like I'm having this conversation with someone this past week, um, where and I think that you're probably finding this as well. When people like us that spread truth about God and what's happening and so
yeah,
forth, um, it seems like up until maybe the last 7 months, I'd say we would get ridiculed and commented, just people laughing and just calling you a joke and fake and like this is crazy stuff. You get like, but now they've backed off. Have you noticed a lot of people that don't agree? They just don't really comment that much anymore. Are you finding that?
yes, but here, one of the things I don't do is I don't engage either, because I'm not going to play games.
That, thank you. That's what
Yeah,
I was
why?
leading to. Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
why?
yep,
Pure
yep.
stupidity, because there is obviously something going down here. And I'm gonna bring you back to negative, because he's not gone.
Negative 48.
Now, he didn't call me, but I'll tell you something else cool too. I gotta tell you something else cool. But
What?
he's not gone, because he said it started in Dallas, it ends in Dallas. They're gonna all converge again. Something's gonna go down, and I do believe that. What? I'm not sure. But I do know this. I
Mm.
was talking about my music to somebody. I can't tell you who I think it is, but let me say this. When he was on with Negative, Prime, and everybody was calling him sir, it became very obvious to me who he was. And he said, now, I want you to do, I want you, Katharine, I want you to do praise songs. And I said, dude, I'm already ahead of you. I'm trying to write the next one, the next big one, dude. I've been writing, birthday songs and singing away to do fire, fire. And they go, I got to go away. He'd go away, and then he'd come back, and now he's disappeared entirely from me. But I know exactly who it is, and I just want to meet him and go,
You promise you share that with me and we'll do another
yeah.
podcast when
Once
it all
once we
comes out.
who I've been talking to, yeah. And then another one, I'm pretty sure, I think I know who he is, and we were on negatives. I don't know if you ever went on there or not.
Oh
And I
yeah,
said,
I was on the channel. I was on
well,
a
there was
couple of the yeah.
trust the process. It was his birthday. And I
Mhm.
said, negative, can I sing him one of my birthday songs? And Prime, and then somebody, oh, there's and all of a sudden negative solved it. He goes, yeah, she can. So I did, and he goes, oh, she can sing. Okay. And I sang in one of mine and he loved it and everything. And I think I
Oh,
know
you
who
do
that
have a
really is too, but
great
I can be
voice.
wrong. I can be wrong, but I can be right too. But this is so fun because if these people would step out of their world and understand, they could be having all this fun too. I mean,
I
life is fun.
agree.
I
Can
mean,
I? Yep.
yeah, you could
Can
be
I say
having
something on
fun.
that?
Yes,
You
please.
just set something off in my mind to share in a different way to explain to
Mhm.
people is join the fun and use this on connecting the dots instead of being so stagnant in front of the boob tube or scrolling Candy Crush going Durr. Use your mind. When you open it, you'll see there's so much more going on. I look at the average life of someone that's still asleep, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I was just thinking about this last night too. And what I mean by that is we're all used to just, getting up in the morning, getting ready, driving into work. It's the same thing over
Boo.
and over. You're sitting in front of a computer for someone else. That's why they make so many movies where everyone's daydreaming behind. They're like, this sucks. There's got to be something better. You know what I mean? But my point is like, that's the mentality and the cycle that they're
Right.
stuck in. So that's why it's
Create.
not resonate, it's not connecting. But once
No.
they become a believer that there's something bigger going on, something godlike, like I always love to call it godlike productions, you know what I mean?
Right.
Then you can start just breaking free from those patterns and start retraining your brains like, okay, I'm going to mute the commercials now because all they do is make fun of us.
Oh my
65% of
gosh,
them
those
are
side
all
effects. I just want to
pharmaceutical.
kill them.
Yeah. 65% are like your pharmaceuticals normalizing that
Yeah.
being sick is normal. Like it's
Thank
just
you.
it
But
starts with those things though. You know what I
see, my world, what I did from the time I was, well, in high school on, well, even before it was music. Started out with piano. They said, "Yep, she's talented." And then we were sitting there, and
mean?
somebody goes, "Well, you can sing too." And I go, "Oh, okay." And and then started the singing all around. And somebody big in Nashville said, "Come on out. They might be part of the Charlie Daniels band." And I never went though because I know I think the Lord was saving me from something that He knew I might get into because I had it all.
Mm,
I could sing, I could
mm.
write, I could play. I didn't look bad, and
You're
so
stunning.
but I'm dreaming. See, I'm 66. Med beds, roll me back, baby. But I'm,
Oh, can I
but
be right beside you? I
I
want to get
mean,
my,
I bet.
my my holes in my chest fixed from
I
getting
mean,
my
just
my yeah,
saying. I mean,
mastectomy and
come
all
on,
that.
people. See, there's so much to this. If you would just think outside of yourself and stop this
Think
fighting amongst
outside the
yourself.
bar. Yeah.
I'm dreaming of
Yeah.
grand pianos and just playing all over the place again and singing and
Oh,
writing
I'm
and
going with you.
performing.
I'm going with you. I'm gonna go
I
with
mean,
you.
come on. And
I love
and
it.
just uplifting and enjoying people. And I mean,
Mm.
there's just so much more to life. I'll be on like one time. So we were watching Law and Order, and he goes, "I don't know, but her purse is empty and his wallet's gone." I go, "That's a song," and I started writing a song about it.
Ah,
And just,
I
like,
love
I
it.
said, "Bob, that's a song. That's a country western song, dude." And
But that's how he's working through you. That's how God works through people like us. It's like those little trigger boop. And I love to explain it. Your thoughts are like magnets. It's way bigger than what people can explain. I mean, your
we're so much
dreams and
more.
yeah, like when you can look at it, people can look at this lifetime that we've all had and our parents and our grandparents and so forth. Yes,
Yeah.
we can have fun and so forth and make the best out of things, but when you look at the majority of your life is just you're stuck in this box and you just can't get out because you're very limited in what you can do because of resources and time and so forth. That's really not living. But I wanted to touch base real quick, Catherine, on what you
Mhm.
said about people not posting and commenting as much. First off, I believe that up to us. If we want to
Mhm.
post something that resonates, let that be with us. But people got programmed to want to feel like it was their job to put you in your place to you know what I mean? I'm like, no, just scroll on by. We all know that term. Like, if you don't agree, just scroll on by. But I'll
Right,
comment on my like-minded friends and all my Q
right.
family and my spiritual family and all that. Those are the people that I will always have time for in
Well,
yeah,
something came
time
up,
to stop.
and I don't know if I should, but I think I will because
Do it.
okay, so something came up, and I'm seeing something gone wrong here because I'm like, you didn't learn if you're still doing this.
Hmm.
Well, Jesus is black. Well, Jesus is white. Well, okay, you know what? No, he's light. He's energy, and he's not coming back in any of those forms. Stop it. He was Mediterranean. Let's go for it if you want to do your homework.
Jesus
And
Strand 1 and 2. Look that
he
up.
was neither in my, and I could be wrong, correct me when I am. He was neither black nor white. He was Mediterranean. and
Hmm.
and that's how that goes. Just like my hair ain't white, if I go swim with you, I Diana Ross can move on over. I've got the fro of the century because I have Portuguese.
You're so cute.
Come
I
on,
would
right?
never have known
Oh,
that.
nobody will, because
Interesting.
I get that hair straightened. I get the heck straightened up out of that hair.
Oh, I'd straighten my hair. Normally my hair is naturally curly and it looks
Mm-hmm.
great when I wake up in the morning. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could just keep it looking like that. But I gotta,
But everybody, come on and let's get with the program here. We all
yeah,
came from the same. we
yes,
we look different, but because come on now, there was an Adam and there was an Eve, and then, and if I don't care if anybody believes that or not, I do.
I do
And
too.
I think that and then come on, think about it a minute, the 12 tribes, and come on,
Mhm.
people. And so who cares? I the
I
last thing
I love what you're saying,
the
girlfriend.
last thing need to worry about is if you're black or white. Let me put it in perspective. The first family that took me into their home right after being thrown into an orphanage from a taxi cab were Hispanic. Okay. And then the only lady that ever did anything in the next group home was our black lady that did our foods and everything. And she saw nobody was coming to visit me or see me or do anything with me. She would take me,
Mm.
go plop me down in the choir, and there was only little white girl. Maybe that's why I got soul, baby. And she,
I love
and I was
it.
just like, okay, see, I was just one of those happy go, okay, no problem. I don't, y'all
Yeah,
don't look different to me, just look like peoples to me.
yeah.
Everybody needs to understand it now. If you got to start, well, this and this and that, and this was like that, no, who cares?
Yeah,
You
you
know,
said it very, very well. We have to all make the decision to stop arguing and who's right and who's wrong and simply just do the right thing and let's all work together. We're all learning lessons from this. Would you agree?
yeah, I think it's called Love One Another. It was a
Yeah.
really simple
One
statement, but
big
it
love.
meant so
It's a
much.
good song. Do you remember that song in the 80s? It was
Yeah. Love. Oh,
one big love. What was that? I'm gonna have to look that
I
up.
don't know which one you're thinking about. I'm thinking
I'll
about
send
another
it to
one.
you after.
but
Well,
but
yeah,
love one another would be real nice. There is a
yes.
song that I wrote, and it was originally because my cousin was diagnosed with oh God, what, one of those diseases when he was a baby, and I essentially wrote it for him and his mother. Yeah, 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 and she never listened. Well, I went on to record it after I was in my 30s. And there's
Mm.
somebody called Art Greenhaw here. He is so sweet. He's just magnificent and talented. I make the lyrics and the music, and then he just goes and starts playing around it and arranges it. It's such a great, so
Oh,
I'm
that's
going to be getting back with
awesome. You got
him.
to share some of your stuff with me, girl, on the download. I might end up adding that in your clip
So,
if
I
you're
mean,
open to it.
oh no, yeah, we're trying to find my master to release some stuff from back then. They want to enhance it and release it now. And then
Ooh.
there's the new one for Chris called Walking Talking Miracle that's going to be coming. But I'm not saying that to advertise at all. I
No,
mean,
I would love to
but
encourage you to share stuff like this because it's going to
yeah,
allow people to get to know you more in
yeah,
your journey. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be sharing our gifts with people. Our brains are
yes,
so programmed that there's something in it for them. There's some things that like, no, can we just go with the
yeah,
flow and what flows? But one thing before, and we are going to wrap it up here because it's
yeah.
we're
Yes.
14. So if we could wrap this up in like 2 minutes, but one thing I would love to mention is a lot of the quote unquote MAGA haters. Now, one, let's think like you're literally saying you hate Make America Great Again, but you don't realize that you've been programmed. But here's what I'm trying to get to is
Yeah.
that um, a lot of people. So when I started listening to Negative and being on some of those lives and so
Mhm.
forth, and just listening and taking it in, what I found is that um, they made Jesus just in the corporate church, they made you fearful. And what I'm finding is that, especially in the spiritual community,
Yeah.
people may call that woohoo, whatever, like we got to be done with those labels. But my point is what I'm finding is that Jesus was way more spiritual, and that Team Trump and, Juan
Hmm.
O'Savin and Negative 48, Michael Brian Protzman, and so forth, they're
Hmm.
sharing the love and light. It's more
Yes,
spirit. Do you get what I'm trying to say? They're trying to explain
absolutely.
like
Because I know
like we're
Jesus.
all,
He's
yeah.
love. Jesus is love. Now, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're as parents, we have to correct. I can't let until you're a certain age. I can't let my if my grandson has I'm smoking and I'm drinking and I'm taking drugs. No, you're not. I will whoop your
Yeah.
butt. I mean, there has to be correction here to get you to
Yeah.
go in the correct
The right
direction.
path, the right path. Like some,
Direction for correction for direction, right?
yeah,
That's a good song.
yeah.
But I can
That
say
is.
it's
Did you
a good
write that
song.
down? Correction,
Correction for direction. But
correction for direction.
I mean, but
But you
that's
get what
what
I'm
he
saying,
did.
right? Like it's
He
more
corrected a
spiritual.
lot. He corrected a lot, but he's got grace and love. Grace covers a
Yeah.
wealth of sins, as you heard it. And so,
Hmm.
no, he's not, and it's not him, it's Satan, and there is a Satan that's the evil. he
Hmm.
doesn't he doesn't he didn't let me get hurt by men.
Thank
He didn't,
goodness.
in other words, he didn't send them to hurt me, but they had a free will. But
Hmm.
he can override that. Look, you don't see me fearful and all down and
Hmm.
got to get my whiskey in a minute because we talked about all this to die. I'll be like, what song can I write now?
I love it.
Everybody
But
needs to find that thing that God gave them and be joyful and
yeah.
and
And it's
understand.
all in there. That's why in the movies they say so much like, what did you used to dream about when you were a kid?
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, oh, it's been so long. I don't even remember. Like, this is going to be the spiritual process. And I
Mm-hmm.
love that there'll be no more corporate religion. We'll all
Mm-mm.
be one. We will all be loving and kind to each
Mm-hmm.
other and help one another and help thy neighbor. Stop looking the other way. Like, you see the
Mm-hmm.
little old lady in need, you see the man having struggles, he can't get to the
Yeah,
doctor. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're going to reform. And with that being said,
I agree.
there's I would love to close this with a thought
Yes.
for our viewers in the future is give 5 hours a month, excuse me, give 5 hours to your neighbors in need, and we'll change the world by doing good deeds. And that's what
Oh,
we're
I like
doing.
that.
My girlfriend Casey. So we started the Utah Community Thinking Tank, and she's got one going on in Florida. And basically, we're showing people how to restructure and deprogram
Mm-hmm.
their head. We're asking everyday people to step up and help the people and the animals in the environment that is just suffering and wreaking havoc. And just put 5 hours aside a month within your community and start being a part of the process of rebuilding your community. So people can check us out there. Well, thank you so much, Catherine. I'm so excited that you joined me and shared your story. And I love, love, love what you said in sharing your experience in traveling alongside of the Trump rallies and connecting with like-minded people and Gideon's Army that was named from Juan O'Savin. It's all going to tie in. I know you're going to be a big, huge like book within this movie, and we're all going to have our own little story, and it's all going to be nice for everyone. And I want to
I
thank you and thank
oh,
the viewers as well. Again, Divine Numbers and Theories, we're thinking outside the box is the new
mhm.
common sense. And I'll ask you, please give this a like and a share because I'm ready to get going on some lives here. So I'm going to be interviewing a lot of people that were at
Yay.
these rallies and on this awakening journey. And I just want to thank
I,
you. So
I'm going
thank
to
you.
make one prediction that I
Yeah,
know that somehow I'm going to be on stage singing for Trump.
I believe it. I already heard that. I already heard that in here. When I heard your voice, I'm like, oh, she's going to end up doing something with the big picture, but I just don't know
Don't
what
know
yet.
either. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Katharine. Thank you so much for your time. And thanks for all of you catching the replay. Have a good day.
Bye now.